The thing that I always tell people is if you have a passion for it, you eliminate all the excuses. You'll go without lunch, you'll drive, half a day to get somewhere, you'll go without sleep. With passion, you eliminate all the excuses and you start to get focused. You start to get focused to a point where maybe it isn't all good, but it does carry you to a level that you were hoping to get to. Mm-hmm. But that's the difference. I've been here 44 years looking across that shed row over there. If I were to lose that passion of being excited about that horse, I would have been gone a long time ago.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to Things No One Tells You. Today's really a special episode of T-Naughty, as we call it. This is one I've been waiting for the right time, really, to share. And I've told you guys about my love of horse racing. Bear with me here, because even if you're not into this sport, this episode is really one that I believe you will take something from, because the lessons are similar to things we all go through. It really boils down to things no one tells you about relationships with humans and horses, and also just discovering your passion and carrying on the right attitude. Horse racing for me, for a sidebar here, has been in my life for a long time because my dad covered it for years with USA Today. And so he would always come home from his travels and share stories about what it was like. And he would talk about this legendary horse trainer from time to time named D. Wayne Lukas. And D. Wayne Lukas is like the Bill Belichick of horse trainers, because he is such an innovator. He came on the scene decades ago and really, as my dad shares, was one of the first trainers to understand his brand. And he was a coach before he was a trainer. So he used this really, I think, connective tissue of coach speak with not only media, but with his coworkers. He developed these barns that were lavish and beautiful and really well kept. So every time someone walked in the barns, they would instantly know, oh, that's D. Wayne Lukas's. He would have flower baskets hanging, beautiful white siding. And it really, up until he passed away in late June, it was very much the same thing. So the first time that I met D. Wayne Lukas, when I got involved in horse racing, was 2 years ago. And honestly, it was like this aha moment for me. I felt it came full circle. I had chills, and it really was this awesome connection that I was able to talk about with my dad, because I had heard these stories for so long. And I had heard how he just sits outside of his office along the shed row at the barns, and he will sort of hold court and talk to people. And that's where I found him. I found him outside his office at the shed row. And I just remember looking at him and being like, how lucky am I? I'm not crying. How lucky am I that I get to experience one of the things my dad has always talked about? And who would have thought? I would have never thought that. So anyway, the fact that I'm sharing this episode after he's passed is sad. It means something to me to be able to share this, because I asked D. Wayne Lukas after he won the Preakness. He won the Preakness in 2024, and it was the first time in a long time he had won a Triple Crown race. He is so accomplished in the sport, but it symbolized him getting back to the top of the mountain. And all of the horse racing world came out to congratulate him, because that's how much respect they have. But a sidebar is, he was doing it with the horse Seize the Gray, which was owned by a syndicate, which means the syndicate was my racehorse. And it's a group that people pay in a minimal amount to own a tiny share of a racehorse. And there were more than 2,500 people involved in that horse. And when that horse won the Preakness, it was amazing for all of them, but it also was symbolic of someone who understood what it means to evolve, and not just evolve as a leader in life, but also as a sport. So I asked Mr. Lukas if he would sit down after the Preakness with fellow horse trainer who became the first female trainer to win a Triple Crown race. It was Jena Antonucci, who won the Belmont with Arcangelo. Jena has become one of my good friends, and I truly believe in every single thing that she does in this sport. I asked the two of them to sit together, because I thought, how cool would it be to, at this point in the sport, be able to hear from such a legend in D. Wayne Lukas, but also to have the up and coming future of sports after a female had just accomplished what had never been done before. So They agreed to sit. It was an absolutely amazing conversation. I usually share levity with one of my jokes of the day, but today I want to share a quote from Dwayne Lucas himself. He said, if you have a passion, you eliminate all the excuses. The most important decision you'll ever make in your life is your attitude decision. Make it early and make the right one. I love that so much. And I loved everything these two touched on in this conversation. Dwayne Lucas, trainer, teacher, absolute legend, changed the game by paying attention, by adapting, also by understanding what others missed or were missing. This conversation with Dwayne and Jena was recorded, as I said, before the 2024 Preakness. And what you're going to hear is a mix of reverence, of humor, of deep mutual respect between two trailblazers at very different times. It feels even more meaningful now that Dwayne is no longer with us, and I am so honored to be able to share this moment with you. You're both such innovators. Jena becoming the first female trainer to win a Triple Crown race, Mr. Lucas creating basically the model that everyone trains under.
Well, that's complimentary. I don't know about that.
Really, well, you walk by these barns and you can see it, right? Yeah. And I mean that, winning your first Preakness in 11 years. So I want to start there with both of you. And Jena, I'm going to start with you. What went through your mind when you were watching Wayne win the Preakness?
Get it done. Yes. Obviously I have a soft spot with Arrogate, with our journey with Arcangelo, but we were just talking about this a second ago. The minute I saw him loping along on the lead there, I'm like, it's done. But I think, more than anything, not that we deserve anything. Everything we get from these horses is such a gift, but what Wayne has given to this industry and his sacrifice for his life and just giving of this community and of these horses, to watch it happen at this point of his career, it's like, yes, like, thank you. You guys got it right up there. Like, he is deserving of it. And so just watching the journey, and like you said, it's 2,500 people that get to enjoy what that means. Like,
with the My Racehorse Syndicate.
Yeah.
Right.
It's very complimentary of you to say that. I think that in order to get where we've gotten,
well, that's complimentary.
Yeah,
because I'm still swimming.
You have to make a total commitment. You just have to. Everything becomes secondary to what you're trying to accomplish. And there's something about the horse industry that is different than the other employment. I coached 10 years. I understand that part of my life. But when you get involved with this, you bond and get so intense and so involved that everything else becomes secondary. Marriages, relationships, deadlines to do something for yourself, all go out the window.
Mm-hmm. So what was it like for you getting that win?
Well, I'd already got to the point where I felt very confident on that one. I was very cocky confident that we were going to beat them. But to get that many people happy, that I thought I was at a football pep rally.
Really?
I mean, I've been on a cattle drive. Was more organized than that. I mean, they were pouring in there, and I know they had drawn lots to see who could, go in there in the actual winner's circle. But that long lane there, everybody else, I think, thought, well, we're entitled to go and watch it, so here they come. Actually, it ended up to being, they were cheering and hugging, and it's interesting, the most profound comment that happened right after it. I was standing there waiting to go up, and an elderly woman was crying, and she said, I've wanted to own a horse all my life. I never dreamed I would own the Preakness winner. Mm-hmm. She says, I thought, lady, you're one of 2,740 people. But she said, I never thought I would win the Preakness,
But I mean, where does that land for you, though? Because also that is an opportunity of a lifetime that you are giving to these people.
It might be better for Jena than me. I'm at the quarter pole, and her career is flourishing right in front of her. I think that these multiple ownerships and everything are going to benefit someone her age on the upward climb. I quit working on my resume a few years ago. I don't worry about it anymore. As a gentleman would say, I used to dress up and wear a tie every time. Now I just saddle the damn thing. But I think these multiple ownerships are going to help the younger people that are on the upswing like she is.
I did want to ask you about the line of trainers that came to congratulate you after that win. I mean, that I would imagine that was pretty unique and special.
That was special for Bob Baffert to walk across the muddy track.
Got his shoes dirty?
Yeah,
No.
and come across there and give me a handshake and a big hug. I mean, that was totally out of character for him. I think although he's been a tremendous supporter of me, and I am of him. But what happened was the competition, the other trainers right down the line were genuinely, I think, happy and congratulated me and were happy for me. And a couple of them even made the comment that if I couldn't win it, I'm glad he did, which kind of surprised me because the general would tell you,
step over you.
For 40 years here, we were kicking ass, and you don't always win everybody over when you're beating them all the time.
It's a fair statement. And that would probably be my biggest surprise through my journey thus far is the genuine support and kindness from other horsemen in an industry. I don't care what industry you're in, when you're at the top, it's lonely at the top. And that expression is there for a reason. And so I felt similarly through our journey with Archangelo that people were actually genuine. And for me, it's like, I want you to be who you are today, who you were to me yesterday. I don't want you to be happy for me today because we did something that was unique or different and special. If you don't like me, that's fine. We're good. But be genuine to me today as you were to me yesterday. And so to have people reach out and to genuinely congratulate or be happy, that something happened that wasn't about them, I thought was special.
I think you got to add one thing, though. You did something that was special, and it was out of the box. You accomplished something that so many of the men in the world, trainers, were trying to do, and here you just slip right in there, and not only do you beat them, you make them like it. I think that was that as far as congratulations and everything, I think it was genuine because all the male trainers, the ones that were stepped back and said, "Damn, she beat us," and they were very appreciative of the effort and what you accomplished.
Thank you.
What was your take watching that happen? What did you think when you saw Jena win the Belmont with Archangelo?
When did you see me? What did you think when I just didn't screw it up? Right? Because most of the time you just have to not screw it up.
Yeah, I would. I was analyzing it a little bit. I thought, well, where do we go from here? Because it's a breakthrough deal, and
What did you think about me bypassing the preps and coming straight to the Travers?
I thought you were a little bit conservative. I thought bypassing isn't in my vocabulary, and but to your credit, I always say that you can't make a generalization that back in 2 weeks or back in 3 weeks is a general thing you can say about all horses. You have to ask the next question. Well, what about the one I'm dealing with? The horse in front of me is the one that you have to make that judgment on. That's what we get paid for, to read into what the horse needs or doesn't need. If you skipped it without even knowing, I would have to say that you felt that he needed that and that you would be better in the Belmont, And my horse, I would have liked to run him last Saturday. Seize the Gray he has come out of it. I thought I had him dead fit in the Pat Day Mile, and he ran very well. But I thought, well, we're really in great shape for the Preakness. But I have now found out that, in looking at him and reading him, that I don't have any reservation of running him back in 3 weeks. Yeah. I think he'll run huge.
They just seem to thrive. I think maybe if there's any connection between obviously the Archangelo and the Seize the Gray, kind of that Arrogate underline just seems to be, they just keep building.
Oh boy, that Arrogate thing too. When we lost him, we lost
And Arrogate, the father of both
yeah.
Arcangelo and Sees the Gray.
Yeah.
Right.
There's just an interesting stamina and cruising speed that I think we see in these two colts.
I think that the efficiency of motion that she's talking about is the key to both your horse and mine. I've got a couple aptitudes that I think watch out because they have that same movement.
Yeah.
It was effortless to watch her horse on film to do that. I mean, really Sees the Gray after the Preakness was circling the track because we couldn't get to the winner's circle with all the people. And by the time he got in there, we as trainers were always wondering how did he pull up? What is he? Is he blowing? Rubber-legged? What is he?
Yeah.
He was just standing there like, well,
what's next, guys?
Should we do it again? Or?
I'm ready.
Yeah, and I can definitely appreciate that with Arcangelo. Obviously, yes, just like Wayne said, you're watching him gallop out, and all the circus is happening around us. But I think horsemen are always staring at the horse. Where are we? Where are we pulling? And there's some footage even after the Belmont where I'm literally scanning the track looking for my horse because that's honestly what I care about.
Yeah, after that first shock of watching him.
Okay, we got it done. Okay, where's my horse? Are we good? Is everything okay?
Yeah.
How are
Meaning,
they
like, how is he doing
horse?
in that moment?
None of this happens without that. And that is what what we fall asleep thinking about, what we wake up thinking about. I know it's a huge family adjustment, for everyone around. You wake up and you're just going. And it's like, yeah, because we have all that going on in the background.
Yeah. And we get analytical. Like when we were on that run of, I think, 6 in a row, Triple Crown races, ABC came to me and they said, could you, we're going to have a camera on it today. Would you just show a little emotion? They said, just doing this. They said, could you just hug somebody or throw your fist in the air?
They asked you to be somebody you're not.
They wanted me to
sure. And what'd you say?
They said, if you win, just, do something.
Look happy.
Don't just look there and go.
That's great. What'd you say to them?
I said,
no.
I said, I said, if you wanted Robert Redford, you should have hired him. I said, you get me.
You need to say, you get what you get. You don't get upset.
That's it.
I also think that there's a similarity between the way that you both approach the people that work with you, that work for you, right? And I think Jaime is a great example of that too, your decision to stick with Jaime as the jockey in the Preakness. Can you talk a little bit about like what that means to you, the people part of all of this?
Well, I think the coach comes out of me daily. Jaime, Keith Asmussen, similar, both too tall. We should cut a foot off of both of them. They're too tall to be good. They have to starve themselves to do the dream of being it. So they come and they sit down and they're articulate and they're solid and they're good people. And the coach in me thinks all the time, let's help them, And my whole career, I've tried to continue to teach. But once you're a teacher, you're always a teacher. I thought Jaime gave off the right vibes for me that he would be okay. I rode him here last year. He won. And I liked him immensely. I thought he was smart. I went to Churchill and Keith Asmussen again, almost a clone. Walks up and says he's going to start his career. And so we got him off to a stakes win and so forth. So I think that comes from that background. I like to help those that are trying to help themselves.
That part. Because I think both have helped people or wanted to grow people that don't want it for themselves. So when you find the ones that are willing to do that extra, that do the dirty work, that get in there and want it for themselves, you can't want something more for them than they want it for themselves. And I know I've invested time and resources and emotional energy into people that you see it in them, but they don't have it and they don't want it like that. And so as I've gotten older, I've learned to not, dump into that person anymore and just, okay, they want to be a toll booth collector, that's fine. Just go be the best toll booth collector you can be. It's not going to work for me for the long haul because I want to bring that guy along. I mean, Giovanni Arcangelo's groom started with me as a hot walker that had never been around horses. And he just had the opportunity to have, the champion 3-year-old. So to watch his journey, that's what it's, for me, it's about the journey for the people around me and around the team because of their commitment and they're deserving of this. And so to watch Fiona, my assistant, have that and her husband, to watch them be able to have that journey and that experience. And we happen to be able to provide that platform for them. That is so much more gratifying for me to watch people live their dream and live their best life. And we get to do that with these horses. That's the gift of, for me, what we do.
So well put. I told Jaime, I said, I'm going to make you better than you want to be. He said,
Oh,
what?
that's so good.
I said, I'm going to make you, if you hang around me, I'm going to make you better than you want to be.
I'll invest in you.
Yeah.
But you got to work hard at it.
Yeah.
That's exactly what George Michael used to say to me. My boss used to do interviews because he would cover horse racing and sports, but those types of things, that's the tone of a great leader too. And Jena was almost a pro athlete also. She's a golfer, an amazing golfer. So that's also, I think, an interesting connection that plays into that whole thing.
Yeah, I was pretty good at it. I took it up late in life.
Well, you know what? There's a connection here in the chair. My brother...
Our butts on the chair. It's our connection.
My brother is in the NCAA Hall of Fame as a golfer coach. He had 27 All-Americans.
Wow.
You wouldn't think that's
awesome.
Coming from a little dairy town up in Wisconsin, but he's in the Hall of Fame as a golfer. And my only grandson, Jeff's son, married the gal
Brady,
that is way up in the PGA.
That's awesome.
They had the PGA open the other day next to our house down there, but she's works for the PGA. So they have we have one grandchild now, and
great grandchild.
Yeah, great. And Brady had him, was holding him the other day, and was taking his arm and going like this. And she interrupted and said, "No,
no, it's
like
this.
It's this."
How are they doing? What is it like for you to have them around this?
The grandchildren, great grandchildren.
Yeah.
I
and
can't
also
wait.
Brady.
Yeah, well, Brady, we've skipped a generation. We're close. Mm-hmm. Brady, I think, looks at Lori and I like, we're his immediate parents. Brady and I are very close. The grandchildren are great-grandchildren are a new experience for me. Kelly, the only granddaughter we have, has a boy too, and they were 3 weeks apart. They look so much. I think we got to be careful. Don't dress them alike because we'll start.
Can we just put one and one?
Put
some silks on.
They don't have a lip tattoo, so we can't tell which one.
We're gonna get them bibs that say 1 and 1A, and then we can have them separated.
But I can't wait till they're big enough to get on a pony.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you know this. And one thing I've always been really careful about, and it's something I'm big on, I hate labels. I am who I am. Don't try and put me in a box for your comfort. And so my introduction, obviously, in the thoroughbred side of things was at Padua. And I did have the opportunity to know Jeff. And so to have that exposure to your program and to, this industry through, and like Lindsay said previously, if you were the first one to basically make it, this is how it needs to be. This is the standard it needs to be. It should be the same at whatever one of my operations you go to. This is my program, and this is what I expect of you. And so I had a high level of show horse competition, but my exposure to the thoroughbred world was through what you had built. And then to be able to meet Jeff, obviously after his incident happened.
A stage of his life that you should have known him before.
He was intense.
Yeah,
I've heard a lot of stories. Yeah. But he was a hell of a horseman, and he obviously got that from somewhere. And so that's something where everyone, when they learned that my exposure to the thoroughbred world was through your program, oh, so you worked for Wayne. I said, I promise you, Wayne does not remember me on a horse at Padua Stables 20 plus years ago. I was good, but I wasn't that good. But your expectation of the program you ran and run has created a lot of Hall of Fame production. Not even just from Todd or Kieran or we can go down the list, but being that coach that put that out to these people. And I tell people all the time, there's a lot of good things and bad things that I learned from the program.
Yeah.
Because you can't just do it one way, and how you've evolved and learned and shifted things as you've gotten older. But having expectation and expecting excellence and exceptionalism is okay. And I think that's where we get into trouble of thinking we can dumb it down for people, and it doesn't work.
It does not work. I always tell those people that came to me, most of them will come and they'll sit where you're sitting, and they'll say, I'm so glad to be part of it. I'm going to do this. I'll work. I'll clean stalls. I'll walk. I'll stay at the barn all day and everything. And I say, whoa, just stop right there. We're going to test that. That's a given. But here's what I want you to understand. If I commit to you and try to make you better than you want to be, you fail. Say you don't live up to what you're talking about here. I have put 2 years in you or so, and you've wasted my time, because I'm going to get rid of you, and you'll be bagging groceries at the local grocery store. I said, so don't think that you're going to do all these things and it's going to be wonderful, because I'm going to make a commitment too. And it's a two-way story. So stop right there and we'll see how this turns out.
Yeah. It's an action, right? Words are easy.
Yeah.
And I live my life this way, and I think sometimes it drives some of the people around me that maybe aren't in the horses, but I'm an action-driven person. Don't tell me you're going to do something. Words are cheap. Show me. Show me in your actions. Yes. Show up, be there, and do what you're saying. Because words are procrastination, right? I'm gonna do this. If there's an ing there, I'm out. Do it. Don't tell me you're going to do it. Do it. And then when I see you're doing it, then we'll talk more.
Yeah. Don't you think it's easy to determine why she's so successful just sitting here listening to this?
Well, yeah, and frankly, it's kind of the same as talking to you, right?
Well, she's hitting a lot of the right boxes.
Well, and
I'm just trying to not piss people off.
I piss them off.
The longevity.
I don't worry about that.
But speaking of the longevity that Jena is clearly going to have.
I love that you guys think I'm going to do this for longevity. I already feel like I'm oh my God.
Well, the fact that, and I know you've been asked this a lot, Wayne, but the first Preakness win in 1980, right? And then 44 years later, how have you done it? How have you continued yourself to evolve and stay relevant and still be winning, And also, what did that part of it mean to you?
Besides the horses and owners,
yes,
that's the easy answer.
Yes. The thing that I always tell people is, if you have a passion for it, you eliminate all the excuses. If you have a passion for your job, or the cameraman has one for his job, you eliminate the excuses. You'll go without lunch. You'll drive, half a day to get somewhere. You'll go without sleep. You will eliminate any social event that you might normally go to. With passion, you eliminate all the excuses, and you start to get focused. And you start to get focused to a point where maybe it isn't all good, but it does carry you to a level that you are hoping to get to. But that's the difference. If I would lose the passion, I've been here 44 years looking across that shed row over there, and if I were to lose that passion of being excited about that horse that happens to be this current one, but any of the others, I would have been gone a long time ago. I had a chance in 70, maybe 76, to really change my coaching career to the point where I think I would have ended up as a head coach at Michigan. But I chose to stay with the horses because I felt it was my calling. It was what I should do.
Thank you for doing that.
Wow.
We find excuses to make it happen, right? I think other people, exactly what he's saying, they'll find, I can't do that. It's going to be, I don't want to drive that far. We drive 8 hours to watch a race for a minute and however many seconds. There's no logic in that. Why do you do it? It's dumb. It's literally dumb. Why did you just travel for 12 hours or across the globe for that, for a minute and whatever? I got no answer. Like, because there is no logic past the passion about doing it. It's,
Why does an 88-year-old man get in a truck and drive 15 hours to get his horse here?
Why?
Yeah.
It'd be easy. They fly here,
They do?
Yeah.
They do fly here, and the truck driver doesn't give a damn if I'm with him or not. But I'm sitting right next to him because I feel like that is where I should be, and I'm going to make sure there's no trouble, nothing go wrong.
And that's why, that's the answer?
Yeah, try that sometime. Ride 15 hours in a heavy truck and see how you feel. You don't have to be 88. You'll feel like hell.
But you're not back with the horse.
Not in the back, I'm in the front.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not much better up there.
Yeah.
I hear you. So what was the significance of getting that win, of this Preakness win that you got? What did it actually symbolize to you?
Again, it got back to what Jena's talking about. It got back to being able to give all those people that was my 7th one. And I don't say that, I mean...
They're special. They all have a different way that they rank.
Every one of them is special for some reason or another. So if you've won 7 of them, and I'd say that I don't want to be real obnoxious about it, but you immediately start thinking about, boy, look what's happening here. They're hugging and crying and everything. What the hell is this all about, And I was kind of blown away by the reaction. But personally, it's another deal on my resume, but I quit working on my resume years ago.
I had talked to Lindsay about this previously, and I have a feeling this might resonate similarly with you. For me, because it's more meaningful for the people and the this and the that, there are some people that every win, like, I don't have another way to word this, like they get off on the win. I got another win.
Yeah.
But I don't have that. If we're doing everything that we're supposed to do and the horses are placed right and they're running their best race and they're getting their trip, yes, I expect to win that spot. We won it. We did our job. But it doesn't move the day-to-day needle.
Great comment. Very true.
And I think that's because this industry gives zero craps about your feelings. Zero.
Not only that, but you win one like that, and believe it or not, you say, where's the condition book? Where's the next one?
That's fair. Yes.
Even if you win one on Thursday afternoon.
Where am I going next?
Yeah, and it's not because you want to.
Yeah, he hasn't even got out of the winner's circle, and your mind's saying, I wonder if he'll be eligible for that one 3 weeks from now.
He's right.
And what drives that? Is it the wanting to do the job the best way, or is it the want to be back in that victory circle?
It's a competitive spirit.
Yeah.
We're competitive to a fault.
Yes.
About everything.
Everything?
That's why I speed all the time. I want to beat the car in front of me.
I want to beat the GPS. If that GPS says I'm getting there at 6:15, I'm getting there at least 6:14, if not 6:10.
Yeah. I'm driving on the freeway and the guy's going 80. I got to go 85. I got to get ahead of him.
Do you get a lot of speeding tickets?
Let's not talk about that on camera, ma'am.
Do I ever? I was friends with the governor, thank God.
Sir, let's talk about the situation.
What about when it comes to, and I think, Mr. Lukas was saying that, ask you about what the syndicate situation and bringing those fans along, talking about the sport and evolving and the need for it to evolve. Mm-hmm. What do you think when you look ahead at the landscape?
There's often that I'm very envious of the time that Wayne was able to do his career, because I'm envious that you have a flip phone, by the way. What is that like?
No social media, right?
Right. We didn't have social. We didn't have, everyone had an opinion, but it didn't make it really past their lips to the people they were talking to immediately with them. And so you've asked me this previously, like coming into the big weeks and stuff, how do I manage it? I have to turn all the white noise down because it's so much. Exactly. And so, finding other things to have your quiet time is very important. People, the better you do, the more they want to take. And so you can only give emotionally so much, whether you're a man or a woman. And so you've got to find those quiet times and those areas to recharge. But the syndicates are necessary. And the reason it's necessary is because society has changed. We don't have the titans of ownership like we used
That's
to.
right. These horses aren't affordable to very many
Correct.
people.
Correct. And that's just a landscape change in the world. And so recognizing that that's just how the world is now, instead of us sitting here and saying as an industry and the haters of our industry saying it's a dying thing, no one wants to be around it, it's us making it relatable and accessible to people that are curious. Okay, I can spend $100 or $200 and learn more about this. And maybe that converts them to a bigger ownership percentage or more involvement. And then they have 5 friends that are curious to what they're doing. And then those 5 friends have another few friends. And so that's the part of it that while I appreciate there are traditionalists that don't like the idea of the syndicate and you don't really own that horse, you own a hare. Fine, you're allowed to feel that way, but it doesn't diminish what these people and this section of people are getting out of this. And it doesn't have to be for everybody. I'm not for everybody. He's not for everybody. And that is completely fine. It's just us learning this new landscape and how we get communicated to these people and making sure that they're having the best possible experience and exposure to this. And we are learning this on the fly. My racehorse is figuring it out. Centennial
I never
has
thought
theirs.
I would I didn't think I would take, I had reservation about taking this horse. When they approached me, first of all, I didn't know what he was. Again, he was an Arrogate, which really let me out. But I had great reservations. I thought there was 500 owners or 200. I didn't know. When they started telling me there were over 2,000, I thought, oh, geez, where in the hell is this going to go? Because that could get out of control. But they do a remarkable job of letting the people enjoy it and don't get in, your backyard too much.
Our biggest challenge as a trainer, not to speak for you, but I'll be shocked if you don't agree, is time management with owners. Because everyone is deserving of the time and updates and knowing what's going on. And the idea that you have 2,500 people, there's no way I can update all those people of what's going on. And so we only have so much to give. And keeping everyone updated about everything else that's happening in the barn, and how their horses are training, or what races you're going to, or here's an update, or we have to talk about this situation. That's the biggest time suck, is dealing with the people.
40 years ago, I started going through the crowd, or I'd have Lori or whatever go through the crowd and just find a child, 6, 7, 8, 5 years old, and just walk up to perfect strangers and say, look, come on, we're going to go in the winner's circle with this horse.
Always has.
And I took every race I have. Now I've won over 4,000 or 5,000 races now. So that's 5,000 times I've taken a child to the winner's circle.
Oh my God.
They have an unbelievable experience in most cases. And I tell the parents, Lori will take them back and say, be sure and tell them that if they wait 20 minutes, they can go, because of digital cameras, they can go get the picture now, and it's on my account, and most of them go get it and then try to find me and get it signed.
Yeah.
But if there's not a small child in our picture, it's because none of them are in the grandstand. We find them, and Lori might say, there's one down by the 8th pole. I said, well, go get them,
Oh my gosh.
And the irony is, the first time I was up here for a win picture for my grandparents, they wouldn't let me in the win picture.
Really?
There's a picture of me. The horse's name was Clemana's Rose. She won, and I am crying because I couldn't get out there because it was when they were still doing some on the dirt.
They had
and
the ring and the
and
lime.
I'm standing on the wall like with bloodshot red eyes because so anyways.
I love
that's
that.
the irony.
Why was that so important to you?
Because I grew up as a kid dreaming, trying to win little races at the county fair and everything, and I knew the experience was special. And so I thought, how easy is that? I tried to talk Baffert into it and some other guys, they don't do it. It's so easy. What the hell? You just grab a kid and come in and you take him to his parents, shake hands, and...
Mm-hmm. But the optics, so I think
you ought to hear
so impressionable, I'm sorry, is, right, as a child, how we see and absorb things is so much bigger than maybe what it is to an adult.
Yes.
So to have a child have an opportunity to do that is very impressionable, and it stays with them.
Does it ever?
Forever.
They get to trembling and shaking, and they say, "Oh my God, he's so big," you know. But the beautiful thing is, I have letters that I get, or I'll be at the Kentucky Derby, and a guy will walk up and he'll say, "Remember me?" And I'll say, "No, I don't." He said, "Well, you probably wouldn't." He said, "When I was 9 years old, you took me to the winner's circle, and I'm a lawyer now, and I have that picture of you and I when I was a kid on the
That's
wall.
what matters.
That's
Still have
amazing.
it." And he'll say, "Do you remember what you told me?" And I'll say, "No, what did I tell you?" And he said, "You told me not to talk to any girls, and not to talk to any strange girls, and remember, all girls are strange."
But it leaves a forever mark for
Yeah.
people, and
Yeah.
that's and for young people. And you've asked me, like, what has this journey meant for me? And I've said it's a gift in that way, to have the opportunity to tell people about what we do and why we do it, and that to convey that and to give them something to look through is a gift. And these horses give us that gift to make a change and to make an opportunity like that, and to make an impression upon someone for the rest of their lives is a gift.
Yep.
Not everyone has that opportunity. And so that's where I jokingly say, like, I don't want to screw that up, but it means so much. And the horse gives us that little platform to make a change. You know, what you said, stuck with me, and I've, I hear it, and it's like, wow, okay, I didn't realize. Thank you for that. And so those are the gifts that are in return for me.
For sure, for both of us.
And I love the way you talk about that with your horses too. The horses are the gift, and I think the way that both of you manage your horses is similar too, right? And it's not. I mean, I'm not saying anything negative about any trainers, but it's a little bit different. You're much. Am I right to say that you're
very horse
very
first.
hands-on, very horse focused?
If you're successful, you are. Without naming names, I think that anybody that's successful doing this is damn sure hands-on.
I've said more, because everyone, of course, with having success, you must have all these horses now. I'm like, whoa, time out. I don't want to be a horse manager. I want to be a horse person. And when your numbers get too big, and you went through this through your career some, you had great horsemen that worked for you.
Yeah, well, that's how we changed the game right there. I got that from my coaching background, that I knew that I needed a tight end coach, a linebacker coach, a quarterback coach. I couldn't have those in 3 divisions, but here was my thought process. I watched, when I came over from the quarter horses, Charlie Whittingham, Lasborough, these greats would have 20 horses at Santa Anita, but they were only getting a lot of production from maybe half of them. And the other half were pretty much nowhere. So I said to my son, what we're going to do is we're going to make every horse productive. So we'll decide which ones can run at Santa Anita. If they can't compete at Santa Anita, we'll take the next 4 and put them in Monmouth Park, and we'll take another 4 or 5 that are really good at Belmont. So we started putting those divisions. But to do that, I had to have Mark Hennig, Todd Pletcher, Dallas Stewart, Mike Maker, George Weaver,
Yep.
Because he didn't just go get assistant coaches that were average.
No,
he expected exceptionalism from them. He was tough.
And did it explain that?
He wasn't like a soft shoulder. Oh, are you having a bad day? It was, suck it up, Buttercup. We got things to do. Let's go.
You're having a bad day. I'll kick your ass right out front.
I'll make it even better. Yeah. So
and how was that received? Just
look at their careers.
Like a student to your coach, right?
Look at their careers. How was it received? Like, that's how it was received.
You're
going to get it done. You're going to get it done here.
You had your process, and here was your game plan. Did it just work? Like or were there hiccups along the way, or it just?
It worked because of my son,
Jeff.
I probably couldn't have. Didn't agree. I think he was so.
He was intense.
Like me, intense and everything. And like if you go interview Todd Pletcher, Todd's going to say he learned more from Jeff than he learned from me, because he was right under Jeff, and Jeff was very, very hard also. So I was very, very much hands-on to all of them. but he was too. So they got it from both sides. And then when one of them got good, we gave him more leeway and more leeway and more leeway. And I used to force him into certain situations. Todd was down at Gulfstream, for example, and we'd be in the Florida Derby, and the press would call me up and they'd say, "What about your Derby horse?" I say, "How the hell do I know? I'm 3,000 miles away. Ask Todd," and force him into taking the interview, force him to deal with the owner. I used to tell him in the tack room, I'd say, "Look, we got a little bad news here today. We got an ankle fracture. So I'm going to get on the phone. I want you to sit here and listen to this. And I'm going to explain what happened. I want you to pick up on how we do it and how I'm going to explain it." And I'd say, I'm going to give them the bad news, but I'm going to enter and go at the end. It'll be very positive. We're going to be the thoughts can be very positive. I'm not going to leave them on a downer. And I say, I want you to listen to this. And there were things like their personal. I always thought as a kid that people were impressed with script, with your handwriting. I'd see people write and they'd say, "Boy, you have beautiful penmanship." So, without being boastful, I got beautiful penmanship.
He does.
And so I would write on the top of a legal pad, "We are going to run in the Belmont Stakes." And I'd say, "Write that 50 times and I'll look at it in the morning." And we're talking about a 30-year-old kid looking at it and saying, "Are you serious?" I say, "Yeah, I'm serious. Write it. Practice it."
Do you feel...
Most of them have really improved.
Oh my gosh.
Do you feel that because we spend a lifetime reading a silent language, reading a horse, listening to the horses, that it makes us better at reading the room with people?
Oh, absolutely. I think between my coaching background and what you're just talking about, absolutely. I always thought that I could put 30 kids on the floor, and I could probably pick the best 10 without ever
talking to them.
Yeah.
Just read the room.
Just let them shoot around for a little while, and I'll tell you which ones I want.
But also in delivering the news to people, you got to read the room and know how you need to give and how you need to deliver it, because this is a hard business. The pendulum swings both ways. You have the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. And so, yeah, I'm going to call and give you a turd sandwich right now, but it's got really good condiments on it and a great side.
So see the bright side.
And the message covers a lot of different industries. I had the privilege, or I did it. I did the keynote speech for Microsoft at the Omni in Atlanta. 1,700 executives from all over the world. Now, when this woman got up and started to introduce this horse trainer that's going to speak to him, you can imagine the reaction of the crowd. Oh,
really?
Yeah. I mean, I said to Bill Gates, I said, "This is going to be a tough audience." He said, "You'll be fine.
This is going to be a lift."
Yeah.
So what happened?
Well, I went to the podium.
Nailed it.
Yeah, I went to the podium and I said, "Sit up, get your feet on the floor and straighten up your back," because what I got to say you can use. I didn't even say good morning.
So what was your overarching message in that talk?
Well, I didn't talk about horses at all. I talked about getting from here to there and how, things that I think were important to do and so forth.
So fascinating. You also shared about when you created sort of the way that you do things, Mr. Lukas, with the barns, the flowers, the suits in the beginning. What went into that thought process? Why?
Well, I wanted, there's two things. First of all, we're going to spend 18 hours a day at the barn, so why not have it nice? The other thing is I wanted her clients to walk by my barn and say, "Who the hell is that?" Yeah, who runs that outfit? Because right away, you got them thinking, well, but that's a different deal there. What's his day rate? You know, it's probably the same as yours. So
Compel people.
yeah, so I did that. The other thing is the discipline in the barn. When you discipline outside the stall and demand a certain amount of cleanup, polish, whatever, it'll carry over to the effort they put with the horse in the stall. It'll carry over. You are drilling them and teaching them. I'll give you an example. I swung by the barn at Churchill and just 7, 8 o'clock at night, 7:30, and I glanced in, and one of the horses had let the hind bandage slip. He probably was stomping flies or something, and it slipped down low. Well, I said to the night man, I said, we got to change that bandage and reset it. He said, I'll get it. I said, no. I said, you stay out of there. I said, it's about 7:30. I want you to set your alarm for 9:30 or 10 o'clock. No earlier. Then I want you to go upstairs, get him out of the room, make him dress, come back down, set the bandage, and then go back to bed. I said, he will never leave the barn again with that bandage like
Never.
I love it.
That's the way we think.
We've gotten soft, right?
Yeah, I have soft and old.
Like but the culture and society's gotten a little soft.
Oh, the whole, are you kidding? Yeah.
And so doing that one time, like I don't have children of my uterus, but I'm able to enjoy Manny's children. And it's not a little, come on now. You do it one time that's inconvenient and one time that I expected here, and it's repeatable. When it's okay, just don't do it now. Okay, that's enough. Okay. Then it just becomes bigger, and then you just start accepting more things that aren't good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, get your ass out of bed, do it right. Are you going to wear your underwear half hanging off your leg all night? No, you're going to fix it right away. Fix it. Do it right. Do it right and do it right now.
Yeah. No, there is a lot of value in that. Jena, if you're thinking back to the course of this past year, is there a moment or a memory that stands out to you the most that you feel after winning the Belmont?
Watching him win the Preakness.
Thanks for that.
How about you, Mr.
I think that you've already referred to it. I think the little exchange I made with my
fans.
peer group coming over to the winner's circle.
What about over the course of your career? Is there a horse or a memory that to you, when you think back, means the most?
Well, I think that hit right on that subject. Every year, every horse gives you a different scenario, a different feeling, I have a story after story after story, obviously, with I've been blessed with a lot of nice horses. It's hard to say. People say, what is your best horse? What was your favorite horse? Well, what year are you talking about? When I have, different favorites, different times. I thought that I won the Kentucky Derby 4 times. They say, well, you had to be happiest with the first one. No, the third one was the one that's jumped out because it was for Bill Young, who became a dear friend of mine. And when I was able to share that Derby with him, that was the best one. That one was better than the other 3. So it just depends on what year or what time. Every horse teaches.
Yeah.
They're all teaching every day. What we get paid to do is read their personalities, if you want to call it that, and determine where they need to be straightened out, where they need to be loved, where they need to be pushed forward, backed up on. That's what we get paid to do. And the ones that do it the best win races.
Our job is to translate what they're saying in a meaningful way for everyone else to understand. We humanize what they're going through so humans can relate to them. And that's probably the cleanest way I can put that for other people to understand. Like, the licking and chewing a horse does. Well, you can't make a horse do that. Well, what does that mean? They will give you that as a reaction to something they're happy about. So when they, drop their head or they give you a good roll, they are constantly talking. They never shut up. Like they're always chattering. And so our job is to slow down and listen to that chatter, good, bad, or indifferent. Why is that horse breathing that way today when they're training? Why are they short breath? Why are they a little tight through their neck? What's going on here? That's different than before. And that's where some trainers don't want to hear what a rider has to say. Oh, they don't know what they're talking about. I can do it with anybody. I want to know what they're saying. They may not know what they're telling me, but I know what they're feeling is different. If a groom sees something, it may be nothing, but it's different. And just tell me what's different, and it's up to me to figure out why it's different today.
That's why after the Preakness with Seize the Gray, I felt really comfortable. But I feel even better 2.5 weeks later. I think he's telling me, just as Jena's pointed out, he's telling me every day that we're going to be a little bit tougher. I'm a little bit fitter, and we had him out there for the state vet to check him, and he jumped and squealed and played, and he'd already had a good work this morning.
Yeah.
He's touting ready. Us. He's making it easy to read. It's in capital letters right now.
That was when Maggie had interviewed me before the Belmont, and that was her question to me was, well, what's he saying? And I clearly said, get out of my way. That's what he's saying, get out of my way. And that's our job, is to stay out of the way at times and know when they're thriving and doing their best and let them do them.
Are these guys getting paid by the hour?
Yes, we're wrapping up. We're wrapping up right now.
Where the hell are we going with this?
All right.
It's a 2-day show.
No. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
You bet.
I learned so much from this conversation. It is extraordinary to me that Dwayne Lukas was able to do what he did and do it in such a hands-on way. Like he would, up until the time when he left horse racing, which literally was days before he passed away of an infection. He was on his horse, and he was one of the only trainers that was on their horse going out to watch his thoroughbreds that were warming up ahead of a huge race. And I am just so grateful that I got to meet and interact with the same man that my dad did years ago. And that by comparing our stories, like it's kind of like you realize all these special characteristics of people that have not only like made it, but just made a difference, And Jena is so steadfast in the way that she does her job. And both of them, their relationship with the horses is something that really stands out to me. And it's really awesome. And I loved when Wayne shared the fact that, there's something different about this sport. He has that background in other sports, and there's just something that is different and special about horse racing. And I believe it's largely because of these amazing animals that you're working with day in and day out, that get to bring you along on their ride. So I hope that you love this episode as much as I did. Another sidebar is I have shared already that one of the things Dwayne Lukas told me that he hasn't shared with other people is the fact that he wrote poetry, and he would almost write it daily. And it was one of his outlets when he was away from the hustle and the bustle of the racetrack. And I just wanted to mention that you can find that clip, read some of that poetry in the earlier Things No One Tells You podcast episode with Brian Hernandez and his wife, Jamie. Also on the blog post featuring his poems shared by his wife, Lori. It is linked in the show notes where you can read them. So that's it for this episode. Thank you so much, Jena. Thank you, Dwayne. And I can't wait to see you guys next time. See ya. Thanks so much for joining me. I can't wait to see you back here next week. Please don't forget, follow and subscribe to Things No One Tells You. And of course, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, don't forget to leave a 5-star review, because that's really what helps people get more listeners. We would love to grow this community. We are so grateful that you're a part of it. See you next time.